Oh no.
Don't let it get me! Help! Keep it away from me! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Help me out of here! You! Over here! It's coming loose. I can feel it.
You alright?
You fool. Why should I share the treasure with anyone?
Maybe I'm not interested in the treasure. Look, I'm just looking for my crew. Have you seen them? Oh, okay. So there's some instruments and stuff. Look, I'm definitely not interested in whatever treasure you're wanting to be sharing. I mean, I kind of am interested, but not in the way that you think. So, anyways, where did you go? Oh, that's not good. Really? Oh, okay, yeah, so this is a crypt / mausoleum. Okay. Whoa. Dude, what are you... Dummy? Come on, man, I'm not interested in this. I don't know who did this to you, my friend, but they're an asshole. I like the mace. Mace is kind of alright. Yeah, and all the moisture in here and everything. No, this place is messed up. You swung from all the way back there? Yeah, this is... I mean, this needs some real stabilization work. That right there should probably not be happening. Of course, it was built this way, so maybe that was here originally? I don't know. Yeah, all this flowing water is not really good for preservation here. Yeah, see, this is all bandit stuff. Especially with this moisture. So the moisture in the air here would have just completely rotted away things like, well, for example, let's just point out, hide boots. Yeah, those would have just completely rotted away if those were originally here with whoever was entombed here. So that, yeah, this is all bandit stuff. So let's move on. Though I bet there's tons of stuff in this sort of gravel-y aggregate stuff. So I'm gonna guess that this is a naturally formed cavern here, and they just built the crypt into it. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right. Still, it's in really bad shape. Needs a lot of stabilization work and probably a lot of... Well, you can't really do mitigation anymore because it's already been looted. Obviously, the bandits are here. Oh, my crew better be here. Huh. Yeah, see? Modern trash. No respect for archaeological sites. And whoever is reanimating the dead, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. Hello. Sorry to do this to you. Sorry, man. Okay. I'm kind of seeing the barrow here, okay, but this is really more of a rock-cut chamber tomb. This isn't really, or like a chamber tomb that's been obviously cut into the mountain by a lot. So, I don't know if I'd call this a barrow. Barrow is like a tumulus, and what that is that's a sort of a mound or a circular formation of like rocks or dirt or something like that. And within that is usually burials, but sometimes you can have ritual tumulus where it's like put over something. Oh, one of these again? Hello. Sorry to have to do this to you. So these are okay. These are tombs. Okay. What do we got here? So a funeral procession, okay. Looks like king maybe? And that one's hard to tell because I can't really see much. Yeah, some priestesses and... Yeah, that looks like a crown on that one. So, royalty procession. They're both... looks to be dead. And then this person here. With... moths? Huh. Okay, maybe some deity or something. Interesting. And it looks like it's repeated, but with different people? No, that one's still moths. This one's different. The old man with 2 staves looks like whatever those giant rodent things were, those skulls on it. Okay. More spider webs. That's wonderful. Another old man with winged staffs. Okay. This is okay. So I can see a pattern emerging, a theme. Okay, here we are. Well, Arvel the Swift, huh? Not so swift. I will take that, and that, please. Oh, you know what? And I'll take a sword, too, because I kind of miss swinging a sword. Okay, now to go all the way back. Okay, so going back through this whole mess here, I think I'm starting to figure this place out. I think that this whole catacombs of Bleak Falls Barrow is sort of in 2 parts. So there's the main part, the first part that you go through, and it's got varying levels of catacombs, but then there's a certain point where you cross over into this sort of back area. And what I mean by that is where we just came from had a couple large rooms with sort of sarcophagus or sarcophagi, because there's more than one, in those rooms. So those look to be, well, that whole setup is completely different than the earlier portion. So from here on out, I'm going to count sort of that portion and this portion, because I'm assuming, if I remember from this last time I played, this is another really big room. So these big rooms that have burials in them, or I should say that have tombs in them, graves in them, are going to be a different type of area, so a different locus than the rest. So you have the first half, which I'll talk about when we leave, and then you've got this back half, and this back half seems to be, I don't know, older maybe? The sarcophagi are different. They're different construction. You've got this sort of liminal area here that has all of this iconography that's leading you to this door, which makes me think that this whole thing, this whole sort of back half, is maybe an earlier portion of the catacombs, or maybe some sort of just a different sort of a separation. There's definitely a type of stratification going on here, or at least a separation, either chronologically or sort of status. But I'm going to go with chronologically because this is constructed very differently than the rest of the catacombs. This whole back half is completely different. All right, so let's do this. Oh yeah, this definitely looks much older. Much older than the other part. I mean, look at this. Look at this cavern. This is nowhere near as sort of polished as the rest. This looks like this was the original place everyone was going to. And again, we've got the sarcophagi here. It looks like there's a couple over there too. These, whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, so these were like what was in the other big room where I had some issues with the archer and the little bridge that went over. So yeah, this definitely looks like a completely different area. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that yes, that sort of the back half of this, I keep calling it a catacombs, but that's kind of what it is, right? Is definitely different. And I'm going to go with chronologically different. It looks like maybe it was built earlier. I mean, look at that. You haven't seen anything that looks like that in the rest of the entire time that I've been walking through here. And this whole big sort of altar-looking thing that looks like that might actually be another sarcophagus up there. This is probably the person who this was built for. This person up here. Yeah, see, there you go. So, oh, petroglyphs, more petroglyphs with some writing. That's cool. So yeah, so this whole thing here, this is probably what this whole sort of place was built for, was this. And it looks like it might be a natural cavern. Yeah, it looks like it might be a natural cavern. So Barrow, I guess you got this sort of barrow shape here, so maybe that's what they're going off of. Also, we had that little bit of a liminal space between these two sort of areas of entombment, and that liminal space had some iconography on the walls that had sort of a main figure in the middle flanked by two figures here. Well, I'm starting to wonder if maybe this is the main figure up here. Yeah, we'll check that out here in a second. So yeah, I mean, look at this. This is definitely something that was built specifically for this. Whoever is entombed here. So I don't feel like messing with them or looking in. They should just remain sort of at peace. Now the flames are here, which suggests that maybe the looters did get this far, though how they got past that door I don't know. Since old Arvel the not so swift had the golden claw in his possession, maybe he had already gotten back here, or they had already gotten back here and he had the key. So let's see if they stashed anything, shall we? Yeah, looks like they have. So silver necklace may have come off of this individual here. Yeah, all this stuff, yeah, this all seems like stuff that maybe was left for this person that has now been collected in here. So let's talk about this wall with its weird glowing glyphs. This looks like writing to me. Very highly decorated too. So let's go see what this is all about. Oh man. Why is everything so weird here? Bring the claw back to Lucian. Well, the claw opens this door, so like why would I bring it back to him? It's obviously an artifact that goes to this place. So yeah, I think this is bringing it. Oh man. Come on, come on. Is that all you got? Man, look, I'm sorry. I don't know why they did this to you. Okay. Well, let's head back the way we came. I'd like to talk a little bit more about these catacombs and really take a good look at them and figure out exactly what's going on. Okay, so this is sort of like catacombs, okay? Well, this is a lot like that. These are catacombs. So you've got your areas here that the dead is interred, and you've got these little niches up here. So see this up here? Yeah, more than likely that's for, I don't know, candles like that one, or offerings. Something like this? I don't know. Maybe there was a statue there at some point. I mean, this place has been heavily looted. But yeah, you can see they've got like furs laid out for the individuals. Yeah, this is rather nice. I can't tell if that's paint, like painted leaves or something, but I don't know. I mean, this does look an awful lot like those stones that whatever his name was pointing out earlier. It's the same sort of shape. So, yeah, these... It's nice to see that some of the looting hasn't taken place down here, but this still has been heavily looted. Look at that. These are warriors that were buried with their weapons and riches, or gold at least, some gold. Amethyst? I'm not sure what that's all about. It might be a cultural thing. But again, you got your battle axe, amethyst, gold. So yeah, you've got your warriors here. Now why they've been resurrected like this, I don't know. But yeah. So the warriors were interred here along with what looks like common folk. I don't see any clothes on them, but they are laying on furs, which tells me that they were probably buried here naked, because that fur would have probably rotted away too, unless it was really thin, like the linen wraps. That could be it, and the linen's just sort of rotted away, especially with as humid as it is in here. And these poor souls here, they were buried with their armor, so of course the armor hasn't rotted away. So yeah, so it looks like catacombs for everyone, really. It doesn't seem to be split up, right? So everyone's sort of buried in the same little plots, the same little nooks here, except maybe these guys. These guys, it looks like a couple of them came out of, you know, bigger areas. What do you got? So there you go, gold and his weapon. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. No, you can have that back. No. No. How do I give it back to him? There you go. There you go. Okay. And what do you got? So there you go. Gold and a weapon. So, oh my god, I just did it again. I promise I don't mean to be doing this. So yeah, so looks like warriors were buried with their weapons and some gold. Maybe the gold was to get into the afterlife. Maybe they have some sort of, ferryman like the Greeks do. Yeah, more slots for people. The traps are a little interesting. They really shouldn't be working if this is really ancient. Now here we go. These are bigger. These little areas here are much bigger than the other ones. So, and they're not as deep. So maybe this is the area that the richer, more elite class is buried in. Yeah, you have much larger niches for them. And actually, here you go. This is a really good example of, or evidence that they were buried naked, because there's no clothes on him, or him, her, I don't know. So yeah, so this is probably sort of the elite area. And of course, some of these warriors were buried here or put here as well. So they are probably elite warriors. Though their armor is still the same as the other guys. So I don't know. I'm not sure. That seems odd. You think that they would be buried with nicer armor, richer armor. But, excuse me. Yeah, more elite area. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this as probably an elite burial area. Okay, can't trigger that. So we need to hug this wall. As this guy found out. Though, I don't know, that seems like slightly nicer armor. He's got greaves on. Maybe better? It's hard to tell. But this is definitely a different sort of area compared to the other one. I mean, you can tell the difference, right? So the other area, there was 3 of them in small slots that just barely fit the body in. Whereas here, the body has a lot of room. And so maybe this culture has some sort of that's a little disturbing. Maybe this culture has some sort of idea that the dead need room. I don't know. Yeah, I'm still gonna go with an elite area. Well, there's your linen wraps too. So yeah, it looks like they were probably they were naked and wrapped with linen. So very interesting stuff. This is a very interesting crypt here. This is bothersome. Having a animal like this, or insect like, well, arachnid like this in here. I mean, look at how much damage it's caused. It's caused a lot of damage. Also, it's creepy as shit. Feels like this place is about to come down at any moment. It needs some serious stabilization work in order to be safe to be used, but I suspect the looters that were in this place probably didn't help with that. They might even be the reason why it is like that. Okay, so if the lower levels from here were elite, and then below that looked like maybe non-elite, these must be like elite. So maybe that last level that we were at was middle class. The lower level under that with the 3 niches in the walls, maybe that was like a lower class, and this is the elite. I mean, this is quite a I don't even know what you would call this. This is huge. This is a sarcophagus or something. It is massive. At first I thought maybe it was a table, but the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm starting to think that maybe if this top were to be removed, there would be someone lying in there, or several someones by the size of this thing. But look at how the niche is sort of done, right? I mean, it's carved in. It's got some designs on it. This is definitely the elite burial niche. Niche. No, not niche. That's something else. Niche. I don't know. But yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. This is definitely important people, and there's only 2 of them. Is there more this way? No, just the 2 of them. Okay, so maybe that's the 2 that were depicted on those wall carvings at the lowest level. Well, that was a very long day and night. And still, I don't know where my crew's at. Well, let me give you my final thoughts on what is this Bleak Falls Barrow. Barrow, I don't know if I would use that term for this. This is definitely carved into the mountain, or at least using a existing cavern to build the burial complex in. And this is a burial complex. There's multiple people buried down there. I would say, just sort of looking at it and rough guess, there's at least 100 people down there, if not more. So this burial complex, this necropolis, is interesting. Unfortunately, because of the heavy amount of looting and the intrusion of, well, rivers and stuff in there, there's a lot of degradation on the inside, unfortunately. It's going to need a lot of stabilization work for cave-ins and, well, to prevent cave-ins. And then, of course, some possible excavation to get some of those areas that are caved in to be opened. But yeah, this is definitely a burial complex, a necropolis, if you will, catacombs, if you will, as well. And it's got this interesting sort of vestibule that you walk into, this very first room here. They may have had ceremonies in there. That might be where they started their ceremonies, and then a procession moved on past there, which makes me think that the first set of tombs there are definitely elite, because that means if you're burying anyone in this place, you have to walk by them first. You have to see them. And then, of course, the next level, you have to see them as well. The traps, on the other hand, I don't think that those would have been original to this place. 1, because they're still working, and 2, because why would you want to trap a place if you have a procession bringing your dead down to put them in their final resting place? So those are probably put in by bandits. And that's a shame. Those will have to definitely come out if this place is to be used again. And a lot of the damage that was caused by the bandits, you guys, will need to be looked at, because it's pretty extensive in there. Which is a shame, because there should be some reverence for the dead, for people who are buried in a place like this. So, Bleak Falls Barrow, this is a huge project, but I don't think it's the one that my company was hired for. So, I guess we got to keep going.